Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. The latest development on the geopolitical stage has stirred a heated debate worldwide as Ukraine firmly rejects a proposed land swap peace plan, even as Russian President Vladimir Putin and former U.S. President Donald Trump prepare for a high-profile Alaska summit. This situation has been packaged and presented by its proponents as a bold new approach to ending the conflict. But upon closer inspection, Ukraine sees the plan as deeply flawed, carrying risks that far outweigh any potential benefits. The exterior of the proposal, much like a freshly detailed luxury vehicle, looks appealing from a distance. It's wrapped in the language of diplomacy, framed as a rare opportunity for compromise, and marketed with the promise of stability and economic recovery. Supporters of the plan argue that it is a sleek solution to a complex crisis, featuring prominent world leaders ready to negotiate in person. Yet Ukraine's leadership quickly identified that, beneath the polished presentation, the proposal conceals serious compromises to national sovereignty and security. Looking at the inside of the plan, the interior design leaves much to be desired. At first glance, it appears to offer a comfortable space for dialogue. But once you step inside the fine print, it becomes clear that the layout is cramped and missing essential elements. The framework lacks clear definitions of borders, no strong security guarantees are integrated, and the seating arrangement seems to prioritize the comfort of one side while forcing the other into awkward and vulnerable positions. For Ukraine, this is not a cabin designed for a fair journey toward peace. It's more like being offered a stripped-down version of a model they didn't want to buy in the first place. The lack of built-in features to ensure both safety and comfort makes the overall experience feel incomplete and potentially hazardous. Performance is another area where the plan struggles to impress. Like a vehicle with a promising design but a weak engine, it cannot deliver speed, power, or reliability on the road to peace. The entire performance of the proposal depends heavily on trust and mutual commitment, both of which have been badly eroded over years of conflict and failed agreements. Ukraine has repeatedly emphasized that without verifiable actions and concrete enforcement, promises remain just words. The proposed plan does not accelerate the peace process. It idles in neutral, consuming time and resources without moving forward. Even if leaders at the Alaska summit were to agree on terms, the risk of the plan stalling or breaking down entirely is high, given Russia's history of shifting positions and disregarding commitments when convenient. Safety features are perhaps the most critical factor for Ukraine, and on this front, the land swap peace plan comes up dangerously short. For any deal to be viable, Ukraine insists on strong mechanisms to ensure that any agreed-upon terms are respected. Much like a car requires airbags, a sturdy frame, and reliable brakes to protect passengers in a collision. However, the proposal's safety package appears almost non-existent. No binding enforcement agreements, no credible international monitoring, and no clear consequences if one party violates the deal. This lack of protection leaves Ukraine exposed to potential future aggression, making the plan feel like driving without a seatbelt on a dangerous road. Supporters of the proposal often highlight what they call its unique selling points. They argue that it could bring an immediate halt to active hostilities, open up economic rebuilding opportunities, and reduce global tensions. They also emphasize that the Alaska summit itself represents a rare diplomatic opportunity where two influential figures, Putin and Trump, could potentially reach an understanding face-to-face. This meeting is being marketed as the premium package, an exclusive event that could set a new precedent for international negotiation. Yet for Ukraine, the supposed uniqueness of the proposal feels more like a marketing gimmick. A deal that achieves short-term calm but leaves long-term risks unaddressed is not a deal worth taking, No matter how rare the setting or high profile the participants, the price tag of the land swap peace plan is another sticking point, and it is steep. Ukraine would be expected to surrender internationally recognized territory in exchange for promises that may not be fulfilled. This would not only represent a significant geopolitical loss, but also create internal political turmoil, weakening public trust in the government and potentially destabilizing the country from within. From Ukraine's perspective, it would be like paying an exorbitant price for a downgraded model that doesn't meet essential needs and has no warranty. No amount of diplomatic polish can hide the fact that the cost is simply too high and the returns far too uncertain. The Alaska summit itself carries its own set of risks and expectations. While the setting in Alaska may be symbolically neutral and geographically distant from the conflict, the optics of the event will inevitably be scrutinized worldwide. Any agreement reached there would need to be rock solid, not just a handshake and a photo opportunity. Ukraine's rejection of the current proposal signals its unwillingness to be pressured into a rushed deal for the sake of political theater. The country's leadership knows that accepting an unstable agreement could lead to even greater instability down the road, and they appear determined to avoid that outcome, even if it means prolonging the conflict in the short term. Beyond the political calculations, the human cost of a poorly designed agreement cannot be overlooked. Millions of Ukrainians have endured years of displacement, loss, and uncertainty. A plan that offers only a temporary reprieve without addressing the root causes of the conflict risks betraying those who have already sacrificed so much. Ukraine's rejection is not merely a diplomatic maneuver. It is also a statement of solidarity with its citizens, a commitment to securing a future where peace is sustainable and sovereignty is non-negotiable. The land swap peace plan, as it currently stands, simply does not provide that assurance. The broader international community will be watching closely as events unfold. Some countries may pressure Ukraine to reconsider, citing the potential for reduced tensions and economic recovery. Others may side with Ukraine's cautious stance, recognizing that a flawed peace can be more dangerous than continued resistance. The Alaska summit, it may produce announcements, agreements, or simply more discussions, but the underlying issues will remain until a plan is crafted that balances territorial integrity, national security, and genuine reconciliation. In conclusion, Ukraine's decision to reject the land swap peace plan is a calculated move grounded in both principle and practicality. The plan's polished exterior cannot hide its cramped and incomplete interior. Its performance on the road to lasting peace is unproven, its safety features are inadequate, and its unique selling points feel overstated. The cost in terms of territory, sovereignty, and long-term security is simply too high for Ukraine to pay. As Putin and Trump prepare to meet in Alaska, the world waits to see whether this summit will produce a truly roadworthy peace proposal or just another model that looks good in the showroom but fails when put to the test. Until then, Ukraine remains firmly in the driver's seat of its own destiny, unwilling to trade away its most essential features for a deal that does not deliver the security, stability, and respect it deserves.